She didn't leave a mark. She became the memory he could never erase. There's something unforgettable about a woman who doesn't just give love, but gives it from a place of strength. A woman who doesn't beg, doesn't chase, doesn't lose herself in the name of a relationship. He doesn't forget her. No matter where life takes him, her voice echoes in the quiet. Her presence lingers in the spaces that used to feel like home. Her love, it becomes the standard he compares everything else to, even when he pretends he's moved on. Why? Because emotional strength isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's the kind of calm power that shakes a man without ever raising its voice. And when he loses that kind of love, he doesn't recover easily. You see, a woman who is emotionally strong doesn't just love with her heart. She loves with wisdom. She sets boundaries. She values peace over attention. She knows that the right man will meet her halfway, and she'll never settle for someone who only shows up when it's convenient. That kind of love is rare. And rare things, they stay on a man's mind forever. Think of a wildfire, not one that destroys, but one that clears what's dead and makes space for something real to grow. That is what her presence does. She walks into a man's life not to complete him, but to remind him of the kind of man he could be if he dared to rise with her. And when he loses her, when he takes her strength for granted, that is a wound that time doesn't heal. He may not say it, he may not even show it, but deep inside he remembers her, the way she didn't fall apart when he left, the way she didn't shrink herself to fit into his world, the way she walked away with grace, with silence, with dignity. And that is what cuts the deepest. Now listen carefully, because this is where everything changes. This woman, she is not weak. She is not broken. She is not forgettable. She is becoming a queen, and a queen does not chase. A queen does not beg. A queen does not wait in the shadows. A queen lives in her power, and that, my beautiful woman, is exactly what he will never forget. If this message touched something deep inside you, if it reminded you of the strength you forgot you had, then take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working with heart, with truth, and with everything we have to bring you the kind of content that helps you rise, heal, and remember who you truly are. You deserve this space. You deserve these words. And we are here, walking beside you, every step of the way. Number 1. He remembers the woman who never lost herself trying to keep him. Have you ever noticed how the woman who never begged, never pleaded, never lost herself becomes the one he can never forget? She loved him, yes, but she never let that love turn into desperation. She gave him her heart, but never handed over her soul. And that is why she haunts his memory like a song he can't stop humming, even when he tries to forget the lyrics. Because a woman who stays rooted in her truth, even while her heart is breaking, becomes unforgettable. He may have thought she'd fight harder to keep him. He may have believed she would bend, break, and twist herself into someone smaller just to stay. But she didn't, and that shook him. She walked away without losing herself. She walked with her head held high, even while her heart bled. And that image, it stays. It stays when he's lying next to someone new. It stays when silence fills the space where her voice used to be. It stays when no one else can love him with the same fire and grace. A strong woman never begs to be chosen. She becomes the reason he never forgets. Let that settle in your soul. Think of a lighthouse in a storm. It stands tall, even when the waves try to crash it down. It does not move. It does not dim. That's her. She was his light, his safe place, yet he drifted away. And now, in the middle of his chaos, he sees the glow from afar, but he knows it's no longer guiding him home. She was never weak, she just refused to abandon herself for love. And now she's becoming something more. She's not just healing, she is evolving. She's stepping into a life where her value is not up for debate, where her love is not wasted on those who cannot hold it with care. And it's time you realize this truth too. You are not broken. You are becoming unshakable. You are not here to beg. You are here to build, to rise, to reign. Write this in the comments and claim it. I will never lose myself to keep anyone. Queens, let your voice be heard. Let this be the line you never cross again. And if this message reached your heart, if you felt your power wake up again, like this video and subscribe. We are here for you, creating truth, healing, and life-changing lessons. Because you were never meant to beg, you were meant to reign. Number 2. Her ability to walk away with her crown on makes her unforgettable. He didn't believe she would walk away until she did. And she didn't crawl, she didn't cry. She walked with her head high, and that is the moment he truly felt the loss. He thought she would stay, thought she would keep trying, keep proving, keep fighting for a place she should have already had. But instead, she stood up, turned around, and walked away. Not with anger, not with chaos, but with dignity. And that image, that moment, it will live in his mind longer than any words she could have said. A woman who leaves with peace in her eyes and power in her steps becomes the memory that never fades. Because she didn't just walk away, she walked away knowing who she was. He may not have valued her while she stayed, but the moment he watched her go, something shifted. The same silence he thought meant weakness now feels like thunder inside his chest. There's an old truth. The softest goodbye leaves the deepest echo, and the goodbye from a woman who kept her crown on while walking away. That's the kind of goodbye that never really leaves. Think of a rose that grows through stone, soft yet unbreakable. That's what her strength looked like. She didn't have to scream. She didn't have to beg. Her absence said more than her presence ever could. He didn't just lose a partner. He lost the kind of woman who only comes once in a lifetime, and that realization. It comes slow, heavy, and permanent. Now listen, beautiful woman. The moment you stopped explaining yourself, the moment you stopped showing up for someone who stopped showing up for you, that's the moment you became unforgettable. Not because he wanted you to be, but because he didn't know how to replace strength wrapped in softness. And this, dear lady, is when you rise. You are not weak for walking away. You are powerful because you did it with grace. From this moment forward, you don't just leave, you reign. Write this in the comments and claim it. I walk away with my crown on. Let the world know you are done begging, done waiting, done shrinking. You are rising. We are working hard to create life-changing lessons because you weren't born to chase love. You were born to reign in it. Number 3. She didn't just love him. She held him to a higher standard. Every man says he wants a strong woman until he meets one. He thinks love is supposed to be soft, easy, without challenge. But then she walks in and she loves him, yes, but not blindly, not quietly, not at the cost of her standards. She didn't just give him her heart, she asked for his growth. She saw the man he could be, not just the man he was pretending to be, and instead of shrinking to make him comfortable, she held him to a level he wasn't ready to rise to. And that is why he remembers her. She didn't stroke his ego, she sharpened his soul. This kind of woman is not forgettable because she didn't just offer love, she offered transformation. But he didn't choose that. He chose ease. He chose the path with no mirrors, no challenge, no pressure to become better. He thought she was too much when really she was everything he needed to level up, but feared to face. Imagine a flame that doesn't just warm, it refines. Like gold, tested by fire, she was the fire. Not to burn him, but to bring out what was buried beneath all his fears. And when he walked away, thinking he could find softer, simpler, easier, he didn't realize that no one else would ask him to grow into the man he was meant to be. No one else would believe in his greatness and still walk away when he refused to meet it. That is what he remembers in the quiet. That is what he feels in the silence. Not just the loss of her love, but the weight of his own wasted potential. She didn't leave because she stopped loving him. She left because she started loving herself more. And that, dear woman, is the moment she stepped into something greater. Not a role, not a title, a life. A way of being, a queen. And queens don't lower the bar to keep a man. Queens rise, and if he cannot rise with her, he is left behind. Write this in the comments and claim it. I will never lower my standard for love. Say it, feel it, live it. We are working with heart to bring you the truth, the healing, and the fire you need to reign. Number 4. Her strength was the kind that made him feel safe until he lost it. He never said it out loud, but he felt it every time she walked into the room. Peace. Not the kind that's loud and temporary, but the kind that sits with you in silence and makes your world feel steady. Her love didn't come with chaos. It came with calm, with clarity, with strength that made him feel more grounded than he had ever been. And back then, he didn't understand it. He thought her steadiness would always be there. He thought she would always pick up the pieces, always carry the weight, always be the place he could fall. But he was wrong. She was strong, not because she had to be, but because she chose to be. And when she chose to walk away, he didn't just lose a partner. He lost the one place that ever truly felt like home. Still waters run deep. That was her. Not loud, not dramatic, but so deep that he didn't realize how much he depended on her strength until it was gone. And now, he finds himself surrounded by noise, but none of it makes him feel safe the way her silence did. None of it wraps around his soul the way her presence once did. Because when a woman like her leaves, she doesn't take just herself. She takes the peace, the balance, the light he never appreciated when it was his. Think of her like the lighthouse in the storm. She stood firm. She didn't move when the waves crashed. She didn't flicker when the wind howled. But once he ignored the light for too long, it went out. And now he's lost at sea, trying to find what he once took for granted. But this isn't about him anymore. This is about the woman who realized her strength was never meant to hold up a man who couldn't meet her halfway. This is about the moment she stopped carrying everything alone. This is where she steps into her own power, not to be saved, but to reign. Queens, this is your reminder. You were the peace he never earned. Write this in the comments and claim it. I was the peace he couldn't keep. If this truth spoke to your heart, like this video and subscribe. We are working every day to bring you life-changing lessons because you were never meant to beg for love. You were meant to reign. Number 5. He didn't realize that her silence was louder than any scream. He thought the silence meant she had nothing left to say. He thought her quiet was weakness. But what he didn't know is that silence can thunder. Silence can shake the walls louder than any scream. And when a woman like her chooses silence, that's not the end. It's the beginning of something he'll never forget. A woman who is emotionally strong does not need to beg. She does not chase. She does not scream to be heard. She simply removes herself and lets her absence speak everything her voice no longer will. And for him, that's when it hits. That's when the echoes begin. Not of her words, but of the space she used to fill, the calm she used to bring, the love he used to feel. As Rumi once said, "Raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder." But when she stops speaking altogether, there are no more flowers, no more rain, only drought, only regret, only silence. And that silence grows louder every day he lives without her. Imagine a clock that stops ticking. At first, the silence feels peaceful, but after a while, he begins to notice. He checks again and again, hoping to hear something, anything, and eventually the silence becomes a weight, a reminder, a wound. That's what happens when she leaves quietly. He begins to hear everything he once ignored. She loved him, yes, she gave him chances, but emotional strength isn't about holding on. It's about knowing when to let go, not out of anger, but out of self-worth. She wasn't trying to win an argument. She was choosing peace, and that peace, it cost him her forever. Now is when she changes. Now is when she stops being the woman who tried and becomes the woman he remembers. The woman he will search for in every face, in every hug, in every "I love you," and still never find again. Beautiful woman, you are not forgotten. You are not replaceable. You are not silent. You are power in its quietest, strongest form. Affirm this now. My silence is my power. Queens, write this in the comments and claim it with pride. Let him feel the echo of what he lost. We are working hard to bring you real, life-changing lessons because you were never made to be small. You were made to reign. Number 6. She was the only one who saw his potential and still chose to walk away. Nothing cuts deeper than being fully seen and still left behind. He thought she walked away because she didn't care, but the truth? She was the only one who ever really saw him. Not just the charm, the surface, the smile, but the man underneath. She saw the fear behind his confidence. She saw the king behind the chaos. She saw his potential before he even believed in it himself. And still, she left. Why? Because seeing potential and watching it waste away are two different things. Because loving a man doesn't mean waiting forever while he hides behind excuses. She gave him chances, time, space, patience. She stood beside him when he doubted himself. She clapped for him when no one else noticed him, but every time she reached for something real, he gave her fragments. She deserved more, and eventually she knew it. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." She didn't want perfect. She didn't want easy. She just wanted honest effort, growth, connection. But he chose comfort over becoming. And when she realized she couldn't build with someone who wouldn't even meet her halfway, she walked, quietly but powerfully. She was like the rain before the harvest. She brought growth, clarity, and strength, but he thought she'd always be there. He thought love meant endless chances. And now, all he's left with is the empty silence of what could have been. Dear woman, maybe this feels like your story. Maybe you're still wondering why you gave so much, only to be left with nothing. But listen closely. This isn't your defeat. this is your transformation. You are no longer the woman who waits. You are becoming the woman who reigns. You are no longer the healer of broken men. You are the builder of your own empire. And the day you walked away, that was the day your crown settled gently on your head. Say this with your whole heart. I saw his potential, but I chose myself. Write it in the comments, queens. Let it be known that you're not walking away from love. You're walking towards self-worth. We are working with everything we have to give you lessons that heal, transform, and awaken the queen within you. Number 7. He didn't just lose a woman, he lost his anchor. He didn't feel it at first. He thought losing her would be just like every other goodbye. He thought she would fade quietly into the background, maybe miss him, maybe reach out. But what he didn't understand was, she was the one keeping him grounded. She was his anchor. And now that she's gone, he feels the drift. No direction, no balance, just empty space where her strength used to hold everything steady. Have you ever seen a ship lose its anchor in the middle of a storm? It doesn't matter how strong the sails are. Without that anchor, it spins, it crashes, it drifts far from where it belonged. That's exactly what he's facing now. He let go of the woman who gave his chaos meaning, who didn't just love him, she held him steady when he couldn't even hold himself. Seneca once said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." But he didn't want the trial. He didn't want the woman who challenged him to grow. He chose comfort over character, ease over depth. He walked away from the one woman who didn't just stand beside him, she kept him from falling apart. And now he's feeling every inch of that loss, quietly, deeply, regretfully. She didn't beg, she didn't argue, she didn't try to prove her worth. She simply walked away, with calm, with grace, with the kind of power that can't be copied. That's what strong women do, and that's what he will remember forever. Not her anger, not her sadness, but the stillness in her goodbye, the silence that hit harder than any scream. Beautiful woman, this isn't just about heartbreak. This is about becoming the kind of woman whose presence builds and whose absence breaks. This is about rising from what was meant to crush you and wearing your strength like a crown. You are not forgotten. You are unforgettable. You are not lost. You are the compass he can't find again. And queens, you are not just the anchor, you are the whole foundation. Write this in the comments and claim it. He didn't lose a woman, he lost his anchor. Say it loud, say it proud, and let him feel the silence. If this spoke to your soul, if you felt your power in these words, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working every single day to bring you the lessons, truth, and strength that help you rise and reign.